What's up everyone? This is Tony with Fun Intelligent Training, and today I'm going to talk to you about one leg stability, unilateral stability. Balance and stability have become a huge part of a lot of people's training. Now, a really popular thing in today's training is standing on an unstable surface. While this is good to help build balance, it doesn't translate quite as well, I feel, as standing on one foot. The biggest difference is if you look at a combat sport scenario, you're never really standing on an unstable surface. Instead, you need a lot of balance because you maybe only have one foot on the ground. Good examples of this are when you're throwing a kick, if someone's shooting a single leg takedown on you and they've scooped one of your feet, you are shrimping in Jiu-Jitsu or bridging. Sometimes you might have a leg trapped, or you might only be able to get one foot to the floor to push off, or one foot on a hip. So there's a lot of scenarios where you're using a lot of strength and balance from one limb. Never are you really standing on an unstable surface. I guess you could say sometimes you might be standing on someone's body, which will be a little squishy, but other than that, more often than not, you're just working off of one leg. So we're going to go over a basic progression now. I'm going to show you some drills you can do to help build your balance and work your way up to building some strength in one leg. Now this might seem really straightforward and kind of silly, but a lot of people might need to start here. If you're working with someone that's already competing in athletics, obviously they're going to have a base level of fitness that's pretty good. But if you're starting someone out below that, this is a really good place to start. Very simply, have them pick one foot up off the floor. Have them stand on one foot for as long as they can. Now a lot of people have trouble with this, just standing on one foot. So what you want to do is do timed sets. Shoot for 20, maybe 30 seconds, then have them switch feet. Of course, you do want to train both legs. It's important to have a good balance. After they've become comfortable with that, just up the time on the sets. Go from 30 seconds up to 45 and then a minute. Once you have people being able to stand on their foot with ease for a minute, that's when you can move on to the next step. What you're going to do is you're going to put your hands out to your sides. You want your thumbs turned up towards the ceiling, and you're going to step forward onto one foot. Take your right foot off the floor. In this case, I'm going to be sitting on my left, so I take my right foot off the floor. Bend at the waist. And stand back up. Going to go to the right foot now and repeat. Now I want you to notice a couple things about what I just did there. It's hard to see because I'm wearing pants, but keeping a slight bend in the knee of the leg that's on the ground. My free leg comes back to counterbalance. And when I bend forward at the waist, I keep my thumbs up towards the ceiling. And that's kind of an auxiliary part of that movement. It just helps to stretch out that scapula a little bit. It's not serving the main purpose of the stability drill. Now another thing I want you to notice was that I didn't let my hip turn out. For example, a lot of times when people come down, their hip turns away. You don't want to do that. You want to keep that hip turned down towards the floor. It's going to be a little bit harder to balance that way, but you're going to get a lot more out of that stability. So I have a 12 kilo kettlebell here, fairly light, but pretty good to get started with when you're just getting the hang of it. And just like that stretch we did previously, I'm going to stand on one foot. In this case, I'll start with my left. I'm not going to put my hands out to the side, holding the kettlebell in my right hand. So if I'm standing on my left foot, I want to be holding the weight on my right hand. You could do the same side. I find it to be a little bit more challenging with the weight in the opposite side. Works a little bit more of the core. That's why I do that. Either way is fine though. So I'm going to stand on one foot, bend towards the floor. When I get to the very bottom of that deadlift, I'm going to roll the kettlebell, stand back up. I'm going to try not to put my right foot down in between each rep. If you have to, just to touch and go, regain your balance, that's okay, but you really want to try not to do that. Again, I'm going to do the deadlift, perform a row, exhale as I finish my deadlift. Once you master that, the next variation is going to be a dead with a row and an overhead press. So again, I'll do this for my left foot. Kettlebell's in my right hand. Do my deadlift, perform the row, stand back up, drive this knee very high like the Captain Morgan stance, bring the kettlebell up to my shoulder, press overhead, come back down, and go back into that deadlift. Row, up, press. And that's the dead row press. Stand on one foot and repeat. Again, stand on both the right and left foot for hopefully an equal number of reps. Once you get comfortable with that, move to a bigger medicine ball. Now this requires a lot of strength and flexibility, particularly through the ankle and the lower back, which a lot of people have a hard time with. A good place to start is with a bench. It doesn't necessarily need to be below parallel, but what you're going to do is stand on one foot, sit down on the bench, completely relax your hips, stand back up, power through that. Inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. From there, you can start adding weight, holding a weight plate on your chest. And once you've built up enough stability and strength, you can go to a full pistol with no bench assisting. So again, inhale on the way down, exhale as you come up. Inhale down, exhale. You want to stand about 1.5 feet from the box, arms out, take a big breath in, and go for it. Now I do have a little bit more strength in my right leg than I do my left. I'd probably need a smaller box in my left leg, particularly because I'm coming off an ankle injury. But you do want to train both legs, of course, to get a balanced workout. And like I said, start with a smaller box, work your way up as you get comfortable. So there you go. That was a basic balance progression to help you build stability and strength on one leg. Again, very important for a combat athlete. For more training tips, check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/funintelligenttraining. If you guys have any questions, please post them up to the video. I'm Tony. Good luck.